In this video, I'm going to show you how I use a Bozak Rotary mixer. First, here's my setup right here. This is my Bozak mixer and my two turntables that are SL Technics SL1200 GLDs, the gold ones. And I'm using Tractor. And now on to, let me get a close-up of the mixer. Okay, this is the Bozak. It's about 40 years old. I had it restored about 6 years ago by a gentleman named Buzzy Beck. He used to be an engineer at Bozak. He's probably the one that built it originally. And I got a hold of him and sent it back to him, and he completely tore it apart down to the circuit board and replaced everything on it. Everything on it's brand new. The faceplate's a little bit wore out now for me using it for the last 6 years, but the inside is like brand new. That'll last another 30 years probably. Anyways, it looks complicated. It's got a lot of knobs and stuff, but you only use a couple of knobs. These are the volume controls right here. This is the volume control for this one turntable, the other turntable. These are line volume controls in case you want to hook up a CD player. Or right now I have my turntables hooked up to these two because I'm using Tractor, and Tractor uses line input. The turntables plug into the Tractor sound card behind the mixer there, and then from the sound card it goes to these two. But you could play vinyl or you could play Tractor, whatever you want. Anyway, these two are volume controls for the microphones. You could hook up two different microphones. I don't have any microphones hooked up to it, so I don't use these. I do if I take it mobile, but at the house I don't use them. These up here are the bass and treble controls for the left channel, and this is the bass and treble control for the right channel. I never touched those either. Same thing with these is the balance, left and right, for each volume control. And then this is the volume, left and right for the microphones. This here is your cue. You put it up here to listen to that turntable. You put it up here to listen to that turntable. Same thing with the auxiliaries. This one or this one goes right there. This is the volume control for the headphones. Headphones plug in right here. The power switch, and the main volume control for the whole system. Normally when I'm at the house, I leave it around between 2.5, 3, and when I'm in a club, I put it around 6 or 7. That's about as loud as it goes right there. But right now I keep it around right there. Now to use a rotary mixer, on a fader mixer, you normally turn the faders all the way up, and then you use the crossfader to go back and forth, and then you have like a gain control so you could adjust the volume of each record. But with Bozaks and most rotary mixers, the newer ones have a gain control, but the old ones like this one, they don't have gain control, so you have to set the gain control as you're playing. So normally what I do, the way you use it, instead of turning it all the way up, you leave it around 6 or 7 when this record is playing. So at 6 or 7, it's full blast. You know, depends how you got this thing adjusted over here. And anyway, to switch records, you just bring up this one as you let down this one. And you bring it, if they're both the same volume level, you keep it around 6 or 7 also. But let's say this record is a lot louder than that record. That's why you leave all this headroom here, so you could turn it up louder to compensate, because some records are louder than other records, especially vinyl. Some vinyls are like 12 inches a lot louder than an LP. So if you're playing a 12 inch on that one, an LP on that one, you might have to turn this one up so it'll be the same volume as this one was over here. So always leave headroom. Normally keep it around 6 or 7. That way you have plenty of headroom in case you need to turn it up louder, since we don't have individual gain controls. And that's basically all there is to it. You know, the main thing is just to leave yourself some headroom, and you got to use 2 hands. You know, there's no crossfader. So the nice thing about a rotary mixer is that the mixes come out super smooth, because when this one's playing over here, the minute you turn this one up, you could already start hearing the record. You know, so you could blend them in real nice and smooth. with a rotary compared to a fader. A fader, you know, if you got one playing over here, you don't even hear this one until it's just about halfway up. At least with most faders, with most fader mixers. But with the Bozak, the minute you start turning it, you start hearing it because it's linear. And that's basically all there is to it. And when I make a mix, the meters I use for to keep my volume levels in the mix tape at a constant level. So if I start off one record at a certain volume level, by the time I get to the last record in the mix, it's at the same volume level throughout the mix, because I make sure I don't go louder than, let's say, I don't keep it in the red. I just stay in the yellow, and that way the volume stays consistently throughout the mix. That's mainly what I use the meters for. Anyway, that's a brief description of how I use my Bozak. Thanks.